ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Mazda MX5 Racing Series here for the SBR Racing League. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's procedures. Well, it's been a little bit of a week away. I had a week off due to being unwell as we were watching the drivers all getting ready for the Sardinian round of the championship. And yes, we're curious to see what happened. And look, Luke C has a wonderful new helmet. Yes, so last week, unfortunately, we missed a round which I was personally looking really forward to, which was Goodwood. I missed out on that round due to being unwell. I had a really nasty head cold, which affected a lot of me, a lot of my energies, a lot of everything. So I couldn't even bring myself to commentate because I felt rough. This week we will be testing out a new microphone for myself. It's a different headset, different mic configuration, so as a consequence of that I can't actually hear the game audio as well, so I've got it playing through my TV because I don't feel like being deafened by the game as well. So just let me know if the mic's a little bit better for anyone. I know that it was a bit of a struggle before, but hopefully this new mic configuration will help out and will make it a little bit easier. So as we go plunge down the hill on Luke C's, look at this wonderful track here in Sardinia, and we are going to have some fun. Well, I'm assuming Sardinia. I don't even know how to say the name, so I'm going to go with Sardinia because I'm really terrible at this stuff. Let's take a look at the championship standings, which are looking all the more like dear old Luke Mitchell. Luke Mitchell is on 187 points ahead of Rob, who's in P2. Then there's Victor in P3 ahead of Kale, who's in P4. Fred is in P5, though he missed out on the round at Brands Hatch. That was fun. I like Brands Hatch. P6 is Olive, as we're watching Luke C making some mistakes. Oh, my apologies for the screen being covered up slightly. P7 is Zach and P8 is Phil. P9 is Dylan and P10 is Luke. P11 is Ben and P12 is Maggie. P13 is Neil, but he is not here today. And then P14 is Keith. P15 is Bruno. So, drivers all getting to grips and getting used to this track straight away, wanting to know what this track has to offer. So we will see all of these drivers looking to show off. Got a couple of new faces in tonight, a couple of late reserves coming in, including a few drivers that are just arriving now. So one of them is Panos, who's coming for Lewis, coming for Neil, and Ben is out, so Lewis is in instead. So we're heading to qualifying here for the Mazda MX5 Championship rounds 10 and 11. Sorry, rounds 9 and 10. Hopefully this microphone is doing okay. Well, through all of that, we were watching the watching a couple of drivers have a little chat. In the chat, and it seems that something happened between Kale and Strombago in that race. And through all of that, I managed that because of the new headset. I didn't manage to realise that my mic wasn't muted, so at least I didn't have it plugged in, so you could hear me munching away at my donuts. Thank you though for asking. They were fantastically nice, and I very much enjoyed them. Nonetheless, though, as we head towards the next race, we're all going to make sure that all the drivers are going to be ready to go. We're just waiting on Ollie Polly, who finished on the podium in the last race, to get all set up and all comfortable in his car. Assuming Luke Mitchell's come back from the bathroom, which would be funny if he hadn't. So just take a sip of water. We will understand what goes on with these races. So heading into the second race is going to be 26 laps of racing. The boost is off, I believe, in this race because people are complaining about it. And here we go, heading towards the race now. Gonna grab my keyboard because I need that. 26 laps of racing here for round 10 of the championship. I believe just one more track after this week, and then we'll find out who's being promoted into the next series up. Starting on pole is Meggy, ahead of Panos after he ran out of fuel. Kate is in P3. He's got to do a good job today to make sure his rivalry with Victor continues. Lap 1 is about to begin. The lights are coming on here at the track. The lights are on, the lights are out now, and the action begins. It's a great start, and Easy Panos really struggling as he starts to control the car. Kale is looking for P2 already, 3 wide. In the background you saw Fred was really slow off the line, and he's suffering from that. He's dropping way back now. Remember, strategy involved in this race, and there's massive contact into 1. Meggy knocking into John, knocking into everyone, 3 wide into 1, and it all went wrong. Rob up into P4 already as they all start to come through the field. And they're all trying to behave, all trying to do their best. So remember, this is lap 1 of a longer race, so you don't want to make a mistake. Wheeler, Zach is in P4 now as they're all starting to come through, and they don't care. They're starting off where they finished in the last race. 26 laps of racing here in Strombago. Strombago? What am I on about? That's a beef dish, isn't it? Contact there between Wheeler. Dill Price. Dill Price is round. Similar cars, similar colours, similar names. So Dylan Price has been sent round there. Ollie Polly already making up into P3. Sorry, into P4, into P5. This track is nuts. Round the outside, can Meggy do it? Remember, started on pole position. He's not on pole position now. He's in P4 as he battles with Dill Price. Trying to make a move on Rob. Rob is looking to make amends after a pretty dire first race here, and at the back of the field seems to be someone going very slowly now. They all come filtering through. Lap 2 has begun. As we keep an eye on this man, Meggy, what can he do? So it seems that Rob's dropped just behind him. What can Meggy do as he tries to pass Zach Wheeler? Zach Wheeler all over the curbs as they now flick down the inside. Lots of drivers showing off here. Lots of drivers trying to show their responsibly past the big power turbines, the big wind turbines even. Lots of wind turbines, I quite like it. Energy efficient and all that. Let's drop back and have a look at Ollie Polly, who's in P6. Well, he's in P6 as well as about 6 other drivers that are in P6. And they're battling harder than children trying to get to the pot noodle stand at school. That's one for the British kids. And then, I'm still proud of that one. Dill Price dropping further back as he tries to battle through. Let's catch up with him. He gets to see all of this madness in front of him, and that's the fun bit. All of these drivers are bumping and bashing so aggressively already as we watch them. The sun has come out here at Sardinia, and the drivers wanting to show off, and someone's off in the gravel. It seems to be Kale. Is it Kale? It's Meggy. It's Rob! Oh, he passes Rob! What a great move! After Rob's mistake, Rob on the last corner, making the worst possible mistake. He has lost so many positions now. This track is holding no prisoners, sir. No one's checked out though. Leading the race currently is Kale in P1 ahead of May in P2. Zach is in P3 and a mistake! Oh, what was that? Oh, and a bigger mistake! Let's try and work out what happened there. They're further back. Let's do this button. Can we see what went on? So he lost it on the track and he cuts across and hits against SC, then big smack, and then further back Dill Price lost it as well at the same position, and he was in P12, and that all went wrong. That all went so very badly wrong. Meggy currently in P4 on the camera now, and he now tries to pass Ollie Polly. And what a terrific accident so early on. And again, this is very much like it's school time, it's canteen time, and everyone's looking for those pot noodle stands. There's Victor trying to battle with Luke Mitchell. Championship leader is Mitchell in the black car. He's looking to scythe his way through the field once more. He often does this, starts on the alternate strategy and then goes for it. But 26 laps of racing, can he do that at this track? This track does seem to just be eating up tyres, but we know it takes fuel. But Luke Mitchell, no trouble there as he passes the Bulgarian. Let's jump back on with Fred. What's happening with Fred? Well, Fred's about to be passed by Panos. Panos up the inside, and also being passed by what seemed to be Luke C. Let's find out who the driver in last place is. That's currently Wilson, who's really struggling at this track. But remember, he is just a rookie, and he's not done much of this before. Meanwhile, if we cut on board with Fred, what can Fred do as he tries to jump at the inside of Luke C? Oh, yellow flag. We'll see who that is in a second. It seems to be Meggy making a mistake there. Oops. That seems to be the wrong mistake. Oh, look, there we can see what happened to Dill Price back on lap 3. Oh, and someone else. What happened with Meg? Oh, we're not going to get to see that now. Ah, well. As we all head towards the next stage of the lap. Oh, and there's Rob passing Luke Mitchell. If he can, Luke Mitchell seems to make a mistake, and Rob taking advantage of it as he gets through. Do excuse me as I just mute the mic for just a moment now. Yellow flag ahead, yellow flag behind, yellow flags all waving. It seems to be Wheeler. Wheeler's in trouble as he drops further back. So Zach really struggling in this race as they all filter down towards lap 5 of the race. 5 completed, nearly 28 left to go. 28 left to go? That's not right. What am I looking for? 24? No, wait, hold on. 22 left to go. Sorry, I had a minute. I could not count because I'm tired. Rob's made a mistake. He's been absolutely bunched off and he's now back into P6. These drivers are driving like it's a sprint race. Up the inside comes Panos. Panos having none of it. He's going to make the move up the inside, thinking I'm not going to deal with it. And there you see Rob passing SC up the inside now as they all pass SC, who seems to make a mistake as well. Lots of... Oh my goodness me. What on earth is this racing so far? These drivers are really struggling with this track configuration. So we're going to watch Rob still trying to battle past Panos. Trying to actually battle against Luke C, my apologies. Luke C trying to swing it around the outside, similar colour cars. It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to, but Luke C is going to hold it at the braking line here. Is he going to be able to do it? But no, Rob is much more controlled there, driving through. And then a mistake there from Panos. The Greek driver, is he going to be able to hold it? He is-ish. He's going to drop way behind his drivers now. And here comes Wheeler. The American, what can he do as he starts to battle through? he's going to have his eyes on this battle, and up the inside. Can he do it? As they watch Panos struggling with just messing it. It seems if you make a single mistake on this racing line, you just drop massively back now, as we're going to follow the slipstream here. Side by side. Is it going to be side by side into one? Anyone going to be brave enough into one? It doesn't seem like anyone will be, as we're going to stay on board with Wheeler for just a moment now, as he heads towards the braking zone. See the red lights lighting up now as the pressure continues. Drivers really looking for any form of overtaking here. Up the inside, potentially a move there. SC trying to make a move. Yellow flags ahead. Cannot overtake during the yellow flags. Kids, behave. It don't see what caused the yellow flag though. Bumping and barging and bashing their way through. Zach Wheeler always been on with him for an entire lap as he starts to show off. Who's checked out through all of this? Ollie Polly is leading by 3.7 seconds ahead of Luke Mitchell in P2. P3 is Victor ahead of Cale, who's in P4. Rob is in P5 ahead of SC, who's in P6. P7 is Luke C. P8 is Panos. P9, if I can find my 9 button, is... Whoa, mistake there from Rob! Big mistake, let's go on board. What happened here, kid? So coming through, it does seem like he's either carried it a little bit too far out. Has he? Oh, he's clipped the barrier. Oh, he's scienced it. He's done a Carlos Sainz. You won't thank me for saying that. And they're being passed by Meggy there. Lots of drivers. This track is so unforgiving. This might be my new favourite track. So, lap 7 complete, 20 to go here in Sardinia. I believe it's Sardinia. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. Say kicking up the gravel here. Remember, this is the last GT game. This is probably the last update we've got for GT Sport before we head on to Gran Turismo 7. The next Gran Turismo game for the PlayStation 5. I don't know any of the words for whether this series is staying on this game or transitioning over to the next one. I do not know. Don't quote me on anything. But those shadows were huge. But all I can say is that this has been a fantastic honour to commentate over such a great series. But nonetheless, as we filter down the hill now, SC versus Kale. Kale is not going to give up any positions. He's angry after the first race, frustrated with the Bulgarian in the form of Victor, who's in P3 right now. He wants to get past him. They make contact a lot during the race. He's got a 2.2 second gap between himself and Victor, and it isn't helping that he's having to battle so hard with Kale right now. Sorry, with SC right now. We should be heading towards pit stops sooner rather than later. Drivers are going to be filtering into the pit lane to change their tyres, change their fuel configurations, and do their best as we go side by side into turn 1 here. What can the touring car drivers do? Are they going to make contact on the doors? They do. Rear tyre against front fender. And it seems that Kale's going to be hit off. They're both off. They're both off onto the grass. And Kale comes off worse. And it seems that Luke C's going to swing around the outside. A little kiss there on his fellow driver's colour scheme. And wow-wee, what a... This is just utterly crazy racing. But we love it so much. Let's drop back and have a look at this battle here. Rob trying to make up lost ground after making a mistake at the coming corners here. And battling up. You hear the tyres squealing. Let's see if we can get a race footage here. So let's look at Rob's fuel. He's got about 3/4 of a tank left. Where are we? Yeah, about 3/4 of a tank left. And he's gonna try and get his way through. Or a third of a tank left. He's going to want to do head the pit lane sooner rather than later. Shall we just compare that with the leader of Ollie Polly right now? Let's just get that back up as we quickly check there's no major battles. Ollie Polly, yeah, same amount of fuel, lot less tyres, a lot more tyres though, mainly because Ollie Polly hasn't had much trouble with tyre related injuries. Look at that in gear 5. He's going to make it to gear 6 before he has to shift down. It doesn't look like he will. So down into gear 4 for turn 2. That's Ollie Polly with the Jensen button helmet. Yellow flags ahead or behind. One of the two, it seems to be behind. And a slowdown penalty for Victor. A 3.5 penalty. Wow, that could change his race as he takes one of it. Let's see if we can take a look. He could serve it and then pit this lap and try and clear it. I don't think he will though. With 3 seconds on the penalty, he's going to have to really do some work now, because he's going to be behind Panos, who's also going to bring him behind SC, who's also going to bring him behind his rival of Luke C and Zach. What can Zach do as Zach tries to swing it around the outside of Luke C? Can he do it? He's going to be brave. Can the American do it? The Americans are often brave when it comes around the outside, and he does manage to do it at the inside though. Luke C employing an IndyCar move there of, oh my god, let's stay as far away from him as possible. But remember, Luke C has got the best looking helmet on the grid, apart from Ollie Polly. Those are my two favourite helmets, Ollie Polly and Luke C. Congratulations, you get the JB Helmet Award. Utterly useless, it's basically a wooden spoon. I stole it from the person that actually finishes last. So, Luke C battling against Zach Wheeler. What can Zach do as he tries to continue on and move forward, struggling so far in this race? Any pitters yet? It seems that we have some. We have Skold and John. So that's interesting that Skold on the soft tyres is pitting now. Well, he's going to pit for new fuel. That's definitely going to happen. So more fuel for Skold, but he SC will also not stop for tyres, or is he? We will check as we keep an eye on all of the battles here. As Luke C goes up the inside, yellow flags. It's someone's made a mistake. Let's go on board. The yellow flags clear. The yellow flags are clear. Back to green flag. No, they're not. Yellow flags still going on. Are they going to be around the corner? Who is it? It was Wilson. Wilson! Whoa, poor Phil. Really struggling in this race. Zach Wheeler though trying to go around the outside. Blue flags for Phil. Got to get out of the way. Well, no, he doesn't have to get out of the way. It's prepared to be passed as Luke C chucks it at the inside. The Camel driver, the Camel sponsored driver, a shower of what seemed to be polystyrene coming out the back of the other MX5, the Phil Wilson's car. You won't be calling him Phil Mitchell for that. Let's check in with the championship leader. He just doesn't seem to care in this race. He's just absolutely flying. There's Luke Mitchell as he heads onto lap 11 of the race, looking to the inside. No pit board for him, and he continues on. Ollie Polly, race leader, into pit lane. He's in P3. It's the man with the Jensen Button helmet. Very shiny helmet too. So we go and look at Panos. He's coming through the battle on. It does seem drivers are starting to spread out a bit, but not if your name's Fred. Fred is under pressure from SC. SC has pitted, remember. I don't believe Fred has as of yet. The man with the black and the pink highlights on the car. P7 currently for the Red Bull driver. Remember, Red Bull announced today that Honda was leaving Formula 1, so Honda will be leaving Formula 1, and Red Bull certainly have a bit of a problem as they don't have a bit of engine trouble for 2022. Watch this space. We'll try and find some news out for Formula 1 if you're interested. If not, we'll talk about touring cars, because I like touring cars, because they're shiny and they go bang. Speaking of going bang, here comes Luke C up the inside with a bang and a crash. He does make his way through ahead of Zach Wheeler. So these two so matched on speed here is Zach and Luke C. It's impressive to watch as they pass the corner where Rob made a mistake. Do either of these drivers pit now? What do you think? I think we'll see them pit in just a few corner time. Further back there are battles forming all over the place. Do either of these drivers pit? Victor pits. It doesn't seem like either of these drivers do pit, so they prove me wrong. That's why I'm a commentator, and they're the racing drivers. Kale is now trying to put pressure on someone. He's got 2 points. There's a lot of gaps forming, which is a little bit disappointing. Let's catch up with Dill Price, who's far away from Katu, who's in P10. Yellow flags. I don't think he's going to be far away now. What's the yellow flag for? As they come through the corner, it seems to be Is that the Katu? It is Katu. So Katu's made a mistake. Does he dive into pit lane this time round? He's gone from an 11-second gap to a 1.2-second gap. And with the speed difference, I wonder if Dylan Price can manage to do it. Come on, Dylan. Can you get through? Can he do it into turn 1? It doesn't seem like he can. He's going to try and hold it into 2, braking hard at 1, then into 2. Well, I class it as 2. And can he boost the power off on the car? I'm holding my breath now. What can he do as he looks to make his move up the inside here on the 81 car? Dylan Price, what can he do for P10? No further moments. We bring up Dylan Price here. Last lap time was quite a bit slower, but not as slow as the Spaniard in front. The race leader pits with some major time in it. The indicators on there for the number 8 car. Luke C came in at 0. That's an impressive stat to come in with no fuel left. Ollie Poddy still leads though after the pit stops. Drivers putting all the amount of pressure on one another. Stopping at pit lane, Zach Wheeler. So what can Rob do as he tries to make a move? I don't believe Rob has. I think Rob stops so far as he pulls up the. Is he going to make it up the inside of Dylan Price? Dylan Price with the indicator on is unfortunately going to be under a bit too much pressure, I think, from the championship contender. But a drastic weekend and more mistakes from the Spaniard. He's going to drop further back now. Surely he can't continue on in P10 at this point as he goes off the track. Is that lag related? And contact there between Rob, Dylan Price and Katu. And the RRL car is going to be regulated to P12 and Rob into P10. I think an inopportune move there for Rob, but I don't think anything was wrong there in that situation. Let's jump back up. Look at the battles forming. There's Fred trying to pass SC. Let's jump on board with Fred. Let's get a look at Fred's fuel efficiency. Fred is going to be pitting this lap most definitely. Look at that flashing fuel light, lifting, coasting everywhere he can, trying to hold it in one gear, trying to eke out as much fuel as possible. What can he do as he's now going to be under pressure? And we've lost Wilson. Wilson leaving the room, and I would too. Unfortunately, he just isn't happy, wasn't comfortable with this track at all. And Fred's continuing. Fred's continuing with no fuel in the car. And he's going to be passed by Kale at the inside. And I wonder if that was a mistake from Fred. Lap 14 out of 26. The race leader is Ollie Poddy ahead of Luke Mitchell from the back of the grid. Can Luke Mitchell make it a double once more, as he has done so many times often in this series? Then there's Panos with a 6/10 slowdown penalty ahead of Victor. Luke C is in P5, but he's not going to be P5 for long if he keeps driving like that. It seems that we're going to see SC going up the inside, or around the outside at this point. He does make it through. Drivers in this race who seem to be struggling. Rob all the way down, out in P10 I believe, struggling massively with this track as they all come through. Oh, and a mistake from Luke C. He's clipped Fred. Let's watch that again. My little let's watch that again song. The one time I looked at my phone. So what happened here? Luke C just barreling out upon the grass, losing it on power, and just clips into Fred. And Fred, naught you could do there at all. Poor Fred in that situation. Well, as you see, oh, we've lost Kato as well, who's had enough of this race after making mistakes himself, and I believe could have caused an incident earlier on in the race. And Fred does pit after that contact with the spinning Luke C, who's under pressure from Dylan Price right now. Lap 15 out of 26 completed. Kale is attempting to put pressure on SC, but SC is absolutely flying right now as he tries to hold on to a P5 in this race. Drivers really trying to now hold their nerves. Let's jump up and check with Ollie Polly's fuel rating. He's on about half a tank now. He could eke it out. What do you think? I think he'll make it to the end of the race if he can lift and coast and save some fuel. It does seem that Luke Mitchell, though, who's on just about the same, actually a little bit less, is going to be in a little bit more trouble. He's going to do more fuel saving in all of this. There's Fred, who dropped right to the back. Remember, he's going straight to the end now on his tyres and fuel. And John is the fastest man on track. He's currently in P3. But he is going to possibly stay in P3 for a little bit longer as the battle at the top is starting to form once more. 1.8 seconds, 1.9 seconds now between the drivers. So as drivers all starting to push on, and a penalty here for Rob, 2.3 seconds slowdown. Rob is going to be furious at that slowdown penalty, but he's going to have to serve it. There's no way you can argue it. As he now tries to put pressure on Zach Wheeler, he's going to lose time. He's just going to have to do it over a period of corners. Be a little bit slower out the corner, lose about a tenth. And you'll do it. I rather like to do it all straight at once. Just put the brakes on, put the hazards on, and hope that no one rear ends me. 11 laps to go off this race. Heading on to 10 laps to go of this race. Luke Mitchell, second place. Is he going to try and go for the race lead for the win? Or is he just going to think, you know what, I'm happy with second place. I want second place this time. Let's be honest, this is Luke Mitchell we're talking about. Back on board with Kale with a 1.4 second penalty for Kale. A 1.1 second penalty as he starts to lose out ground to SC. This penalty really won't affect him much when it comes to the battle with Zach Wheeler, but he will definitely start to feel the pinch as the race starts to come down. 10 laps to go in this race. As the racing continues further on, let's drop further back now to look at P7. No, okay, so P9 battling Meggy versus Rob versus Dill Price. These two have been battling pretty hard. Does Rob still have his penalty? Is the question that we shall ask. It's P8. He does still have a penalty. 1.1 seconds on the time to slow down. What can Rob do as he tries to serve his penalties while staying ahead of the driver from behind? But I think he might just as well just let Dylan Price through, because Dylan will get through anytime soon. Dylan with his indicator on, flashing his indicator saying, I'm going to come to your left at some point. So we spin round the clockwork circuit. Clockwork circuit. That's the word I'm looking for. As I continue to struggle to speak, 7/10 of a second is the penalty for Rob at this moment in time. He will ghost when he serves it. Serves the 10th. Excuse me. So let's jump up to the top, and they are very, very close together. 0.3 tenths of a second now, lap 18 out of 26. Luke Mitchell firing on all cylinders as he goes to try for the race lead here at the second round of this track, the longer round, the feature race in a way, as we start to see the cars stretch and strain a lot more. Will he have to pit again? Let's check with the race information. You know what, I think he will have to pit once more in this race. Luke Mitchell, not Luke Price. Ollie Polly under pressure from Luke Mitchell. Mitchell trying to pass his way through. Lots of movement there on the car, seemed to be lag. Now up on the inside, oh, that was a big bit of lag there. Ollie Polly, is he going to pit? He chooses not to, as he now heads into one. The slipstream is great and powerful here. Ollie Polly, the Norwegian driver, is going to hold it out. A little lift off there. Luke Mitchell, interesting tactic there, to lift off and let the car in front drag him in, to lift and coast whilst in the slipstream. Don't see that employed very much these days in Formula 1. Let's drop back and have a look at the battle for the battle at the bottom of the field between Miggy and Dill Price. Luke C dropping further back as well. Into pit lane becomes Kale. Kale looking for a fresh set of boots, I believe, or a more powerful bit of fuel to take him further up the field. Dill Price looking to go up the inside with the old switcheroo move here. It seems side by side, and it does seem that Dill Price is going to have the preferred line as we see it into pit lane. Pulls Meggy. Meanwhile, at the top of the show, lap 19 of these racing, heading on to lap 20. Do either of the drivers pit once more? As you see the Jensen Button helmet of Ollie Polly swerving and turning, excuse me. Drivers all trying to continue on. Do they pit? They got a lap of driver and into pit lane they come. The battle now into the pits. Who's quicker? Is it Luke Mitchell? Is it Ollie Polly? I think it might be Ollie. New tyres for one. New tyres for another. Fuel for both of them. Luke Mitchell, has he gone? No, Luke Mitchell's still there. Ollie Polly's currently in P5, Luke Mitchell deployed as Ollie Polly does, and it seems Luke Mitchell's got him in pit lane. Luke Mitchell has got the lead from Ollie Polly in the pits. My goodness me, just a fraction of a second too late, and Ollie Polly potentially has lost this race. What tyres do we reckon they're on? I think they must both be on super soft tyres. Utter disaster for the Norwegian. Gravel flicked up as the driver is now filtered down. 7 laps to go here in Sardinia. And Ollie Polly doesn't care whether it's the last lap or the first lap right now. He wants this win. He wants it. Both these drivers finished on the podium in the first race here at this track. And now Ollie Polly back into the lead now ahead of Luke Mitchell. Mitchell is not going to give this up. He wants to continue his championship charge as one of the most successful drivers in the MX5s. Talk whether he's going to head straight up to beat his Tory car or not, I don't know. Excuse me. So, lap 21 complete. Sorry, lap 21 commences and Ollie Polly leads ahead of Luke Mitchell. 0.3 of a second between these two drivers. Who is quicker? Who is more confident? Who is stronger in this current format of the race? The final stage of the race is beginning. And now we'll see what happens. Eyes fixed to the top of the show. Further back though, Victor is battling with SC for P4. Right now, Wheeler's doing fantastically. Let's check with Wheeler quickly with his fuel. Are we going to see him pit once more? Yeah, you know what? I think Zach Wheeler could make it to the end. He's going to be touch and go, but he might be able to make it to the end. 5/10 of a second separates the top two right now. Half a second, just over half a second now. As the drivers all going absolutely hammer and tong here. They got a 14-second gap. The more they battle though along this race, the more Zach Wheeler's going to come in and say hello. But we don't know who's going to finish on top so far. I think Luke Mitchell's turned his engine down just a little bit to see what he can do to resolve any issues in this race. He just wants to sit there. Oh, no, a mistake from Ollie Polly has really caught us out. We might have to watch that again. No, there's no point watching it again because we don't want to miss a move for the lead. Let's go on board here with Luke Mitchell. There he is. See, his last lap time was a little bit slower than Ollie Polly's, and now lap 22 coming towards a midpoint of lap 22 now. Let's go on board with Victor, who's trying to chase down Wheeler, just quickly checking in with those guys. 15 seconds is the gap between P2 and P3 right now, and Ollie Polly is putting an absolute drive of his life to beat the championship leader so far. Drivers seriously putting seriously putting pressure on everyone else. It seems there's no pressure that Ollie Polly cannot withstand in all of this. Four laps to go here at the final race of this track, and it seems a move for the lead is going to be inevitable at some point, but whether it will be Ollie Polly leading or whether it will be Luke Mitchell leading, who knows, as we get a bit of lag off Luke. Luke Mitchell is the fastest man on track right now at 1:28.9. Fresh tyres, fresh fuel, rich fuel, and now everyone's going to put as much power and as much pressure on everything they can do. All of these drivers have been doing fantastic. We lost two drivers from this race due to choices, and that was Katu and Phil Wilson. Wilson deciding that he didn't want to continue on. I think Katu made so many mistakes that he just wasn't happy with the end of this race. 0.3 of a second separates Ollie Polly and Luke Mitchell. Luke Mitchell trying to make his way through to make it a double win at the same track once more. It does seem like Ollie Polly is going to keep the race in hand right now. 4 laps to go. Coming up to a back marker as well. Try and see who that back marker is. Quickly check in with what's happening here. So Victor has passed Zach Wheeler. I think that's down to fuel. Let's take a look at Zach Wheeler. Yeah, he's starting to struggle on his fuel, but I wonder if Zach's going to be brave enough to try and pass Victor. Victor running out wide there. Is that going to be a penalty for the Bulgarian? No, nothing so far. Victor driving into pit lane to try and defend his line at the inside, and there you see Wheeler is going to keep going in the slipstream. He's going to chuck it up the inside. He's going to try and go up the inside. Victor not giving him an inch or at least a mile between these guys. So there's a mistake in the background between John and himself in the barrier. We check 1.2 of a second, and into the wall is almost forced. Luke Mitchell. Blue flags are waving as Ollie Polly tries to defend, but there's going to be a gap here, and Luke Mitchell saying, no, I'm going to take this gap. Now Ollie Polly, you need to pass me. The open top cars shining and showing off these helmets as the race coming towards its inevitable conclusion at some point now. Who is going to win as Meggy goes off the track? That seems to be Meggy, I believe so, is now past Luke Mitchell, lapping the other blue car this race. There's 2 blue cars, one is Meggy, one is in fact Kale. Ollie Polly wants to take the win here against Luke Mitchell. Both these drivers finished on the podium last time in the first race of the season. What can Ollie Polly do this time? He's got 1.42 of a second. And he's up the inside now of Luke Mitchell. Luke Mitchell is going to cut across him if he can, but Ollie Polly's got the overlap and he's going to result into it. He's now going to hold on for literally one more lap after this. Can Ollie Polly, oh, Wheeler unfortunately does pit. Can Ollie Polly please discount Luke Mitchell's so many wins in this series? Luke Mitchell doing a Nick de Vries. He's won so much this time round. It does seem that the man who has fought for the pot noodles is really going for it. I'm just going to stick with pot noodles now. It's really going to try and go for the race lead once more. Ollie Polly is going to lift off slightly here and let Luke Mitchell have the inside line. He thinks that he's going to take it away as they flick round. 0.3, 0.4 of a second now as they head now down towards the final stages, the last couple of bits of hazards. It does seem like Ollie Polly has got the pace today to genuinely win, but he's got to hold it now through the S's, where Rob made his mistake, was just further back. Through the S's now, as we see drivers really putting pressure on one another, and over the camera, he's killed the cameraman. And on to the start finish straight now, and oh no, a penalty for one. Is there a penalty for another? No, tragedy for Ollie Polly. He won't be able to hold him back. Surely not. On the final lap of the race. Surely not. And he will know, Luke Mitchell will know that he's got a penalty, and he will just let it go unless he wants him to win, but I don't think he will. Let's just check with Ollie Polly. He's got 2 seconds in the bank now. Luke Mitchell just had to stay within 2 seconds to win the race. Up and down, left and right is this track. Up the hill now, starting to climb already. Ollie Polly with 2 seconds. He's got to break it. He's got to keep going. Is Luke Mitchell in trouble with fuel though? Luke Mitchell's in major trouble. Is this going to happen? Is Ollie Polly, with a time penalty, is still potentially going to win this race? Let's check on Ollie Polly's fuel. Ollie Polly's fuel is almost gone. This is now going to result in just the corners, the last couple of corners. It does seem that way. It does seem that Ollie Polly is going to win this race with a time penalty. Luke Mitchell misjudged the time with his fuel. He's got so much to give. Ollie Polly is going to win the race. No! Luke Mitchell wins. Oh no. Luke Mitchell making it a double, and their Victor, with a time penalty, is going to try and get to, well, he's going to drop to P5 right now. Victor pulling off the line, letting the drivers through, and it does seem that it's going to be SC is going to finish in P3, and John's going to finish in P4. Victor making it to P5 ahead of Kale. Luke Mitchell makes it a double here of this track, heading into what I believe is the final round of the season. And Orlov is so upset. And Luke Mitchell saying that penalty was rubbish, so I wonder if there'll be a revised movement there and they will change the results as per the penalties and try and get it to be fairer. The final race of the season is going to be at Blue Moon Bay infield, so we will be heading to Blue Moon Bay next week. But nonetheless, drivers are calling for it, and it seems Luke Mitchell has actually conceded his win. In the chat, he said that he doesn't want to have this win, he wants Ollie Polly to have it. Officially, the win goes again to Luke Mitchell, but he said that he didn't want it, so we will say on the stream that Ollie Polly wins. Nonetheless though, what a frantic couple of races, and I'll tell you what, I need a little bit of a lie down before I head off to work. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time for the final round of the season in Blue Moon Bay. Have a very good weekend and stay safe everyone in these uncertain times. I'll see you again soon. Ta-ra guys.